Welcome to District Command Central, your go-to source for the latest news and updates on the Washington Commanders. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a play. Big news coming out of Washington as the Commanders are reportedly exploring options to bolster their backfield. And one name that has started to surface in trade rumors is Cleveland Browns running back Jerome Ford. This could be a strategic move for a team suddenly in desperate need of running back depth after losing a key contributor. You see, Austin Ekeler, the centerpiece of the Commanders' offensive backfield, suffered a torn Achilles that will keep him out for the remainder of the season. For any team, losing a player of Ekeler's caliber is devastating, and the Commanders are no exception. The ripple effects of his absence are already being felt across the locker room and on the field, and management is clearly searching for a solution that can keep their ground game viable and maintain momentum as the season unfolds. Now, let's talk about Jerome Ford. Ford has been a notable presence in Cleveland, but his situation there has become increasingly complicated. According to Tim Crean, a writer with Pro Football Network, the Browns' backfield is currently one of the most crowded in the NFL. The depth chart features multiple young talents and draft picks vying for touches, making Ford a somewhat redundant asset. Crean points out that fourth-round pick Dylan Sampson carried the load in Week 1 with 12 carries and 8 catches, showing the team's faith in their recent draft class. Meanwhile, undrafted rookie Raheem Sanders made a mark by scoring the team's only rushing touchdown in that same game. And as if that weren't enough, second-round pick Quinton Judkins is now ready to take the field, further crowding the backfield. Ford, who isn't exactly a bell cow back capable of absorbing every carry, now finds himself in a position where the Browns could see more value in trading him rather than keeping him as an underutilized option. This makes the potential trade scenario to Washington particularly intriguing. Ford would not necessarily be brought in to immediately replace Ekeler as the starter, but he could be integrated into the rotation in meaningful ways. The Commanders currently rely on a backfield led by rookie 7th-round pick Ja'Cory Cross-Gamerett, who is learning on the job and getting his first taste of NFL action. Cross-Gamerett has Jeremy McNichols and Chris Rodriguez Jr. as companions in the backfield, but the team clearly needs more experience and production to navigate the demanding schedule ahead. Adding Ford could provide a stabilizing presence, offering situational power, receiving skills, and some veteran savvy that the Commanders' young core is currently lacking. Looking at Ford's recent performance, the numbers may not jump off the page, but context is key. Through 2 games this season, he has logged 12 carries for 39 yards. These are modest figures compared to his breakout 2023 campaign, when he ran for over 800 yards with the Browns, but it's clear that the potential remains. He is now in a position to redefine his role and contribute to a team that is hungry for success. In Washington, Ford could be positioned as a second or third back, someone who takes the ball in critical downs, offers a change of pace, and helps preserve the legs of the team's primary options. While he may not be the centerpiece Ekeler was, he could still be the piece that makes the Commanders' offense balanced and unpredictable, crucial for a team that is looking to make a push in the NFC playoff race. It's also important to consider the broader context of the NFL trade market. Ford is set to become a free agent at the end of this season, which makes his current value something that the Browns might want to capitalize on immediately. Trading him now could yield draft capital or other assets rather than risk losing him for nothing in free agency. From the Commanders' perspective, acquiring a player like Ford for a reported $5 million could be a bargain. It's a relatively low-risk move that addresses a glaring need and adds depth to a roster that now finds itself scrambling after a major injury. The move also speaks to the forward-thinking nature of NFL front offices, who must always be prepared to pivot quickly in the face of unexpected setbacks. Now, let's break down how Ford could fit into the Commanders' offensive scheme. He's not a one-man show type back, but he has versatility that could make him a perfect complement to the existing roster. He can line up in the backfield, catch passes out of the backfield, contribute on third-down situations, and provide a spark when needed. The Commanders' play calling could evolve to include more 2-back sets, or they could utilize Ford in specialty packages that exploit his skill set. In essence, he could be the missing puzzle piece that transforms the offense from a vulnerable unit into one capable of sustaining drives and keeping defenses honest. The addition of a player with Ford's experience could also help mentor younger backs like Krosky Merritt, giving them guidance and helping them adjust to the speed and complexity of the NFL game. Fans of the Commanders are understandably anxious, especially after watching their team's offense struggle in the wake of Ekeler's injury. The loss of a key player can have a domino effect on team morale and performance, but the potential acquisition of Ford could inject some much-needed optimism. It's not just about the statistics. It's about the psychological lift that comes with bringing in a proven player who has experienced success at the professional level. Ford's presence could reinforce confidence in the locker room and give the coaching staff more flexibility in how they deploy their personnel. In a league where momentum and depth can define playoff outcomes, having a reliable back like Ford could make all the difference. On the flip side, Cleveland's decision to trade Ford would reflect the team's commitment to its younger backfield players. Dylan Sampson, Raheem Sanders, and Quinton Judkins are all poised to take on larger roles, and the Browns may prefer to give them the spotlight. For Ford, this could be a chance for a fresh start, a new chapter where he is valued for what he brings to the table and can carve out a significant role on a playoff contending squad. It's a narrative we've seen in the NFL before. A player finds new life with a different team, reinvigorates his career, and contributes in ways that may not have been possible in his previous situation. For the Commanders, this is the type of calculated gamble that can pay dividends in a high-stakes league. In conclusion, the potential trade of Jerome Ford to the Washington Commanders is a story filled with layers. It touches on the urgency created by Austin Ekeler's unfortunate injury, the crowded backfield in Cleveland, and the strategic calculations of NFL front offices. It is also a story about opportunity, resilience, and the ongoing chess match that is professional football. Ford may not be the star that carries the team, but he could be the catalyst that keeps the Commanders' playoff hopes alive. If this trade goes through, it could reshape the dynamics of the NFC race and provide fans with an intriguing storyline to follow throughout the rest of the season. Whether it's through critical short yardage plays, third down conversions, or mentoring the team's young backs, Ford has the chance to make a meaningful impact and remind everyone that in the NFL, opportunity often comes to those ready to seize it. This is exactly the type of move that makes watching the NFL so captivating. One injury can set off a chain reaction that forces teams to think creatively, reassess talent, and make bold decisions. For the Commanders, a trade for Jerome Ford could be the perfect mix of practicality and ambition, a $5 million gamble that might just pay off in ways far beyond the stat sheet. As the season progresses, all eyes will be on Washington's backfield, watching to see if Ford can carve out his role, provide stability, and perhaps even emerge as one of the unsung heroes of a team fighting for playoff relevance. It's a storyline full of tension, excitement, and possibility, the kind of football drama that keeps fans glued to their screens week after week. If you're enjoying the coverage, make sure to smash that like button and drop a comment with your thoughts on the Commanders' latest moves. We want to hear from you. It's official, or at least, the rumor mill is exploding with whispers that are now impossible to ignore. Josh Harris, the enigmatic and increasingly impatient owner of the Washington Commanders, has reportedly pulled the trigger on one of the most talked-about decisions in recent NFL history. Sources close to the situation, speaking on condition of anonymity, suggest that Harris has made the bold move of firing head coach Dan Quinn, citing what insiders describe as a fundamental lack of capability to lead the franchise. The phrase floating around the locker rooms and corporate offices alike is chillingly straightforward. He doesn't have what it takes to run the Commanders. The question now on everyone's lips is not just whether this is true, but what this means for the future of one of the league's most scrutinized franchises. From whispers in Washington, D.C. sports bars to trending threads on social media, the story has caught fire. People are speculating about everything, from the timing to the potential replacement, and the tension around FedEx Field is palpable, even before any official statement has been posted. If you've been following the Commanders this season, or really, any season in recent memory, you know that the relationship between the front office and the coaching staff has been rocky at best. Quinn came in with a reputation for defensive mastery, someone who could turn a struggling team into a disciplined, formidable unit. And yet, according to these emerging reports, the magic just hasn't happened. Players are said to be frustrated, executives are said to be impatient, and fans are said to be restless. There's a sense that Harris, who has never been shy about flexing his authority, reached a breaking point after a series of disappointing performances, questionable play calling, and perhaps most damningly, a lack of visible leadership that seems to have left the locker room unsettled. The notion that he doesn't have what it takes is being tossed around like wildfire, and it's not coming from casual observers. Allegedly, it's coming from the inner circles of the franchise itself, those who have had the closest view of Quinn's tenure and are willing to admit that the fit was never quite right. What's especially fascinating is the timing. Harris is known for being methodical in some aspects, but decisive in others, and insiders suggest that this decision has been simmering for months. Rumors suggest that the final straw might have been a meeting that left Harris convinced that Quinn's vision for the team no longer aligned with the ambitions of the ownership. While the official press release is still pending, the narrative taking shape is clear. The Commanders are entering a period of upheaval, and the coaching carousel could spin faster than anyone anticipated. Speculation is already rampant about potential successors. Names are flying, some realistic, some eyebrow-raising. But the one common thread is that whoever steps in will need to be capable not just of strategy and game planning, but of commanding respect in a locker room that has reportedly been teetering on tension for months. It's a scenario ripe for drama. Social media has exploded, of course. Twitter threads dissect every possible nuance, with fans and analysts alike weighing in on everything from Quinn's tactical shortcomings to Harris's management style. The debate is fierce, polarizing even. Some argue that Quinn was set up to fail, caught in the crossfire of a front office hungry for results, but perhaps unwilling to provide the support necessary to succeed. Others claim this is simply a case of delayed accountability, a high-stakes league where patience is a rare commodity and expectations are sky-high. Either way, the narrative is tantalizing. The owner of one of the NFL's most storied franchises has reportedly declared, in no uncertain terms, that his head coach cannot run the team. The ripple effects are inevitable. Player morale, team dynamics, draft strategies, even fan engagement could be impacted as the organization scrambles to fill a leadership vacuum at the helm. Insiders suggest that behind closed doors, the mood is tense, with executives in emergency meetings and staffers bracing for the changes that are already underway. The rumor mill doesn't stop there. Some are whispering about how this decision could affect free agency, with potential recruits watching closely to see if the Commanders are a stable destination or a franchise in flux. Others are speculating about the internal culture, the locker room politics, and whether a new coach could unify a team that has, at times, seemed fractured. Meanwhile, analysts are poring over Quinn's track record, weighing past achievements against recent failures, trying to determine if this move is justified or simply another chapter in the tumultuous saga that has defined Washington football for the past decade. Fans are, as always, deeply invested. The streets of D.C., from sports bars to tailgating lots, are buzzing with conversation, with local radio hosts breaking down the possible scenarios in exhaustive detail. The media frenzy has even crossed over into national outlets, with pundits weighing in on the implications not just for the Commanders, but for the league as a whole. There's a sense that the NFL might never look at Washington the same way again. What's more, the timing has fueled endless debate. Is this a preemptive strike before the season spirals further out of control, or a calculated move meant to send a message about accountability and high standards? Some reports hint that Harris has a short list of candidates ready to step in, suggesting that he has been planning this moment for some time, orchestrating behind the scenes to ensure a swift transition. Others insist that the decision came suddenly, a reaction to mounting frustration and a perceived inability to achieve the lofty goals set for the franchise. Either way, the buzz is electric. Podcasts are already dedicating entire episodes to dissecting the story. YouTube channels are releasing reaction videos within minutes of the news breaking, and social media is flooded with memes, hot takes, and speculative analyses. The narrative practically writes itself: a powerful owner, a beleaguered coach, a team in turmoil, and a fan base desperate for clarity. At its core, the story taps into a universal fascination with leadership, failure, and the high-stakes world of professional sports. If these reports hold true, and at this point, the consensus among insiders is that there's little doubt, then Washington is entering a new era. An era defined not just by the search for a new coach, but by the broader implications of leadership, accountability, and ambition in a city where football is more than just a game. It's culture, identity, and pride wrapped up in every snap, tackle, and touchdown. Dan Quinn's legacy, whatever it turns out to be, will now be viewed through the lens of this dramatic firing. Analysts are already predicting ripple effects for the draft, for team chemistry, and even for Harris's own reputation as an owner willing to make bold, decisive moves. The Commanders, meanwhile, face an uncertain road ahead, one that promises excitement, tension, and perhaps more drama than anyone anticipated. Fans are bracing for announcements, for press conferences, for every twist and turn in what may prove to be one of the most talked about coaching changes in recent NFL history. And as the rumor solidifies into fact, the story continues to unfold, promising endless analysis, debate, and speculation for weeks, if not months, to come. This is not just a firing, this is a statement. A declaration from an owner who is demanding results, from a team that has long been searching for identity, and from a league where the line between triumph and turmoil is impossibly thin. The Commanders are on a new trajectory, whether anyone is fully ready for it or not, and the echoes of this decision will reverberate far beyond the immediate headlines. For now, fans, analysts, and players alike are left to watch, to wonder, and to wait for the next chapter in this unfolding saga, a story of ambition, impatience, and the relentless pursuit of football excellence. And while the official word may still be coming, the whispers, the speculation, and the drama have already taken on a life of their own, painting a picture of a franchise at a crossroads, a head coach who has lost the confidence of his owner, and a football city holding its breath for what comes next. In short, Washington football is once again the center of attention, and the world is watching every move. Josh Harris has reportedly made his decision, and the fallout is only beginning. Thanks for tuning into District Command Central. Make sure to subscribe and follow us for all the Commanders news you need. Until next time, keep the faith and hail to the Commanders.